Welcome to Let's Talk Healthy Living, and Happy New Year, everyone. Because healthy living can be fun, we're kicking off the new year talking about something fun, and that's good for you, and it's music. We've met up with Canadian guitarist and composer the Roddy Ellias to tell us more about this, and to also talk to us about how he stays fit. Let's hear what he has to say. Roddy, Happy New Year, first of all. And thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat with us about a topic that is really close to my heart, and it's music. And I think a lot of people don't realize the therapeutic effect that music has, and for me it does, because sometimes when I feel stressed and a bit anxious, I listen to music, and it makes me feel lively and de-stressed. But before we get into it, let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. Even though your reputation precedes you, please let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
I'm 76 years old, and I've been a professional musician since I was 19, 20, like full-time professional. Started off banging around on my grandmother's piano when I was 5, like making up stuff and not having any lessons or anything, just fooling around. And got my first guitar at age 12 and haven't looked back. And so I've been fortunate to be able to do what I love for my living. And I had one job when I was 16, when I turned 16, in a warehouse for a month. And I became the driver about 3 days after I got my driver's license, because the driver didn't show up. Anyway, that job lasted a month. That's the only job I've ever done that hasn't been music. So I'm very fortunate, and very influenced by all kinds of music, but primarily I'd say jazz and classical music. But I'm, very deeply involved with African music, with Indian music, Brazilian music, Chinese music.
So very eclectic, very diverse.
Diverse, but with a strong core in classical and jazz. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very relaxing, therapeutic. So I was listening to some of your music, and it's very relaxing and therapeutic.
Mm.
But you've been playing music professionally for 46 years. You said you started when you were 20, but you essentially started when you were like 12, when you got your first guitar. But one of the things that I generally see, I don't want to generalize, of course, but one of the things that most people hear or see as musicians is their lifestyle is not necessarily conducive to healthy living. But so how do you do it? Because for most musicians, it's busy, not enough sleep, fast foods. So how do you do it? You're 76 and you're still rocking it, and you're keeping fit. How do you
Well,
do
I don't know
it?
if I'm rocking it. I am keeping fit. I'm conscious of that. I think it's a stereotype that musicians are unhealthy. I mean, yeah, certainly are a lot of musicians that have very unhealthy lifestyles. Or look at even the Rolling Stones are still going, right? Like, after all. I have to admit, like, when I was younger, I was not, I didn't have the healthiest lifestyle. I smoked 3 packs a day of cigarettes, smoked pot, drank, get up, have Jamaican hot patties in the morning for breakfast. Stayed up till 4, maybe practicing drinking, sleeping till then. That gradually changed. And I think, things catch up to you, and you have to take care of your health. So one of the things that helped me a lot was martial arts. We started when I was very young, 8, with judo, Japanese, flipping and rolling around and stuff. And that was always in my blood. I didn't get back to it till I was in my 40s. I went to study Japanese karate. And I was there like minimum 2, but more usually like 4 to 6 times a week classes. and then ended up teaching a class in that. And that was very good for the health and for de-stressing, because I did have some stressful jobs at universities. And so that it was this karate was a great stress reliever. It was a good physical thing. And I remember going to my doctor back then, he's saying, whatever you're doing, just keep doing. So I think that was a help. And in the last maybe, I continue with martial arts and more currently a very slow kind of martial art, Tai Chi. And that is, Tai Chi is like can be specifically for health or for martial arts or a combination of both. And a subsidiary of that is Qigong, which is Chinese energy work.
Mm-hmm.
And other stretching, walking, just various things. Today we tried skating. First time in like, God knows, maybe 10 years I tried skating. And it's, as I was just mentioning to you earlier, it's the first time I've felt my age ever. And trying to eat properly, trying to eat organic, and when it's meat, it's more expensive, but humanely raised meats, and laughing a lot, and doing reading, and not when you're young, you're a young musician, you're practicing your instrument like whatever, all day long, all night, whatever, And I would say I've learned how to practice efficiently, take small breaks, have a more balanced life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for me. And I also think I have a naturally strong constitution, hereditary. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the stuff I did when I was young hasn't really caught up to me.
It certainly is. And when did you decide to make that lifestyle change?
It was
In terms of
gradual.
eating properly. And...
It was gradual. I mean, I remember when, let me see, it must have been early 70s. I was living with a woman who, our first date was to a health food store. That's when the health food stores were starting, right? But I was a little suspect, because in those days you go into health food stores and everybody looked anemic. Because people weren't doing it right. They were,
Yes.
Okay, well, let's not eat this but they weren't getting enough protein or this or that. So our first date was to the health food store, and she bought me some whole wheat bread. And so that started making me aware anyway. So it's very gradual for me, very gradual. And my wife and I, Sandra, we try to eat healthy and, not, balanced.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we went to a banquet for a Tai Chi banquet. The first one we went to a couple of years ago. And our Grand Master, she's amazing. She's like 87 or 86, 87. She's like this high. She's like incredible, full of energy. And she ate like 3 mounds, plates full at the buffet, like all protein.
87?
Yeah.
Wow.
And her husband's in the 90s and still plays ping pong.
When you talk about healthy eating, just for our viewers, I'm just curious, what does that mean to you?
What does it mean to me? Well, balanced.
Mm-hmm.
It means different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people it means a vegan diet. I have a good friend who's, eats, when he comes here and visits, it's vegan. We eat with him, and it's very good. But Sandra and I were both old blood types, and old blood types apparently need meat. So I mean, we've tried a vegetarian diet and vegan. It's nice, it tastes nice, but we just don't feel right. So, that one man's meat's another man's poison is a good saying. So I think it's different for everybody. So we just try to find things that we like, that aren't going to kill us. I mean, I still eat sweets. That's a weakness. We try to cut it down.
Yeah, and everything, as they say, everything in moderation. Right?
Moderation.
It's about moderation.
And it's psychological too. Like, you have to be happy when you're eating. If you're eating
Yes.
something, oh, this is good for me, but I hate it. I don't think that's too healthy.
No, definitely not. I completely agree with you. And I think the general misconception is that if food is healthy, that means it doesn't taste as good. That's a huge misconception, because you can make healthy food delicious.
Yeah. Well, there's an interesting my mother, when she was seeing one of the first holistic doctors in Ottawa, Dr. Gilka, I guess it was in the 70s or maybe 80s or 90s. And it was a very funny. Dr. Gilka told my mother, said, when you put something in your mouth and it tastes good, spit it out.
Okay.
So that was the old,
Yeah, that means it's bad for you.
Yeah. I guess she was referring to sugar and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can cook really tasty, even oatmeal.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you and Sandra cooks?
Well, breakfast we alternate between poached eggs and oatmeal, and sometimes healthy dry cereal. And sometimes just toast and olives and cheese.
Okay.
And lunches could be anything, not too heavy, but enough energy for the rest of the day. And so meals, suppers, and lunches we try not to eat. We love meat, but we try to eat some meat, some chicken, some fish, and some vegetarian. So we're just always rotating.
Yeah.
So we're like tonight we're saying, well, what are we going to have for so? Well, we've had a lot of meat lately because of the season, so we have a tofu stir fry.
Okay.
But make it tasty.
And in terms of you saying you do a lot of Tai Chi and martial arts, I'm just curious. Just I'm sure our viewers are as well. How often do you exercise?
Do I exercise?
Or exercise? Maybe that's not the correct word.
Well, I do
Active, because you're more active than I guess what
Yeah.
one would call exercising.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I exercise. My wife and I, Sandra, we do Tai Chi every day.
Oh, nice.
It's one class a week. It's a 2-hour class. I used to go to the dojo, as I said, like 2 to 6 times a week, and more often 6. When I was doing karate, and then and then plus I stretch and I do various exercises as well. So something every day, really. And we walk the dog, and I should do more cardio. Like Kevin, the cameraman back there, he walks or what do you run or jog?
Cycle.
Cycle, same stuff.
Yeah. No, Kevin's good.
Yeah.
So he cycles pretty far too.
Yeah.
But in speaking about healthy living and the links to music and healthy living, because it's immensely therapeutic, and a lot of experts they talk about the power of music, enhancing your mood, giving you energy, and for me, I feel that because, as mentioned at the beginning, when I'm stressed. After a long day's work, even when I'm in the car, I love listening to music, different types of music. What are your thoughts about that?
For me, there's a large connection between music and the real world, the physical world, nature. So, for example, if I play a note, this note, the string is vibrating. So here's the string length, right? So it's vibrating the whole string length. And then it's vibrating halfway through the string. So 2 arcs, so these 2 are vibrating half the length. And then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh, and eighth, and a ninth. And then so what's happening there is this, in this sound, is made up of this, and that, and that, and that. All these other sounds combine to make that one sound. So all the notes are in that one note. So what happens is that note sounds, and then what's called an octave above that note, there, sounds, and then a fifth, and then all different intervals, and they all go up to make up that sound, and those are called overtones. So like that, and those are the overtones that you can hear if you listen closely, like a low note on the piano. You can sometimes hear. So that's called the overtone series, and the reason I'm getting technical is, let's see, I think it was around 500 or 600 BC. There was a Greek philosopher, Pythagoras, who talked about the music of the heavenly spheres. That the planets are vibrating in music. And I think my dates are wrong. Kepler, a German scientist in 17 something, don't check me, you can look it up, proved it scientifically that the planets revolve around the sun in an ellipse in the identical same proportion as the overtone series. So in fact, the planets are mimic the overtone series, music, so it is music. And everything vibrates, everything's vibrating in music. So when I play that note, it's affecting your body, your brain, everything. It's like connecting, because we're all vibrations, right? So for me, it's a very spiritual. It's not just. I mean, the mood thing is nice. So I can play nice, or I can, affect your mood. Right?
Yes, yes.
What I like is to zone into. If I play a note, I'm not just playing the note. I'm like really trying to listen to that note, hear it, and feel it, and actually imagine the sound coming out of the guitar. It's live, right, and moving. So I'm trying to connect on my inner self with the inner sound of this, and hope it connects with your inner, right? So that. So I'm trying to go beyond just the note and what you're hearing here, but the vibrations and the feel and the mood and the connection with everything, the universe, the stars.
And I can see the change in you when you're playing as well. And thinking about the therapeutic effects of music, given that music is your career, it's essentially work, do you also feel that therapeutic effect?
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, practicing too. I mean, I get up in the morning and I play Bach, music of Bach, which is to me extremely spiritual music. It's all about patterns, and the world is about that. The world is made up of patterns, right? Like the snowflakes falling right now, they're all patterns. Everything's a pattern, right? And the Bach is like total pattern. And yeah, so and if I'm playing. There's a phase you go through as a musician and you're trying to be professional and play certain jobs. But I stopped doing those a long time ago, and I just play what I think is going to be meaningful for me and people listening. So my job, to me, music is communication. So my job is, if I'm playing solo, to communicate just with the audience. I might play instrument. If I'm playing with other people, to communicate with them and the audience and the instruments and everything. So it's like the audience is just as much a part of the music making as the musician, right? Because the energy you feel back. So yeah, what I've been doing lately is playing solo and just playing for like an hour nonstop. And lots of people tell me that it took them on a journey, right? So they forgot about the bills they have to pay and everything. And that's what I try to do, is just go on a journey and just see what's going to happen. Right? Even though some of it's planned, but so just like if you're reading a good book, good novel, it takes you to the story is the important thing. It takes you, you forget about everything. So I try to do that with music.
No, that's incredible. So when you're composing music, because one of the things you do, you're also a musician and a composer. So when you're composing music, are you actually thinking about how you make people feel?
I think so, yeah. Especially like if I'm setting somebody's words to music, or like this morning I was just fooling around with some chords, and I said I want to find some chords that create a particular mood.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can remember this. And these are giving me strange chords. I think it was something like. What was it? So very strange chords. What was the next chord? Yeah. Like they're not your, but I wanted to create that sound. I mean, just that was pretty rough. I'm just trying to remember what it was, but the idea there was to create a mood, an atmosphere, a feeling, to take myself or people somewhere with that. I mean, it's going to be a lot more to it, but that's the whole piece is going to be based on that. Those pretty weird chords.
Really, that's incredible. Thank you. And are you still playing? Are you?
Yeah.
Yes, you're still playing. Where are you playing next?
Well, I'm taking some time off right now.
That's not the answer we wanted, really.
Yeah.
So you're not playing at all?
No, I'm going to take at least 3 months off right now. I'm going into a writing phase.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
writing, my daughter's quite an excellent poet, like a very imaginative poet. And she's inspired me to set, I think I've chosen about 7 of her poems to music. And so I'm going to focus on that and focus on writing some more solo pieces. And so it's going to be writing for the next 3 months. And I haven't yet told a couple of groups that I'm involved in that I'm taking breaks.
Well, now they know. Well, that's incredible. I'm looking forward to hearing that. And so when do you expect to finish that writing? And that music?
The writing, that's a good question. I had a 6-month timeline for that, but I think it'll do quicker because it's for like a chamber orchestra, so they're going to orchestrate it. And they're very challenging poems to write music to because they're very unusual. I've said a lot of poetry and text in my life, particularly to my wife's, but they're different. My daughter's poems are quite different rhythmically and are going to be a challenge, but a welcome challenge because they're gonna help me grow as a composer because they're very cool poems.
Are you making music to all that?
Yeah. So it'd be sort of like art songs,
Yes.
like an art song rather than like a song for.
What advice would you tell our viewers in terms of healthy aging, healthy living?
Just try to be happy and make your life real. Like find out what's important to you in your life and how you can make a difference. I've always thought of myself as some sort of a medical person, like a musician is a medicine person, and trying to help society. So I think if that's what's worked for me is trying to help people, whether it's by teaching, which I've done a lot of, and I think I've helped people. So that makes me feel like what I'm doing is beyond just, I mean, we all have to pay bills and everything, but it's beyond that. It's like, so I think that's important, like your lot in life. And I know it's not easy for some people because some people don't have choices. And, some people have to work 3 jobs and everything like that. And I don't know how I would deal with that. I mean, I've been fortunate I haven't had to do that, right? So I just say just positive attitude, laugh a lot, eat well, moderation, as you say, moderation. Yeah.
And what advice would you give to like a young musician coming up?
Stay positive. Stay away from drugs, definitely. Love what you do and do what you love.
Right. That's a great way to conclude. And can you play something for us?
Sure.
To conclude this episode. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Roddy. Roddy Ellias, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.